Head of football Ben Ikin has opened up about the Payne Haas contract debacle, telling the Fox League podcast while Haas has committed to the club for now, the pricey prop may not be at the Broncos for long term.
You know, in the longer term, we may not end up being aligned. We may not be able to get aligned with what Payne and his management want based on our salary cap position. Because what you've got to remember is that, you know, the 16, soon to be 17 clubs are all in different parts of their roster management cycle. Some have got more to spend than others. Others, like us, are trying to keep a whole stack of good young players together in the hope that we win a comp together. And the timing isn't always right for every player. So for Payne, what I would say is that asking for a release effective immediately is an extreme tactic. But I also acknowledge that, you know, this guy plays a brutal collision sport in the toughest position on the field. And I think we've all noticed how well he does it, how single-minded you have to be to do it as well as he does at such a young age. I'll say it again, he has been our best player in the club's most turbulent part of its history for the last 3 years. So for all the things the club has done for him, he has also done for us. And in this instance, the course of action he took, we certainly don't agree with, but we're not going to completely write off the bloke.
And there he is, Ben Ikin, talking about Payne Haas, saying how important he is to the team, how amazing he is as a player and how he's performed as their best player for a long period of time now, but still, I would say insinuating they're not going to pay the money that he wants. Is that what you got out of that?
Look, there's no way the Broncos are going to pay what he wants. They, as Ikin referred to there, they're in a period of their cycle as cap management where they want to keep the Cobbos and those sorts of players. Those guys are all on the rise. There's a crop of young kids coming through who are all going to be asking for more money, including Payne Haas, who are all going to be asking for more money in their contracts. The difference is Payne Haas is already close to what he is worth on the open market, where the likes of Cobbo and that, you would say, dare say they are. I don't think the Broncos can go much higher. And again, the other point though, I don't think many clubs will. To where he wants to go.
Basically, all that's happened is we've got a postponement for 4 months. And this will come up again. Instead of interrupting State of Origin, it'll interrupt Mal Meninga and the World Cup team going to England, because that's all Peter Bedell, the Courier Mail and all of us will be writing about what his next move is. Now, tell you what I'm really disappointed about, and Braith, I heard you had a decent old crack at the player agents last night, and a couple of them. This fella, Tyron Smith, who is allegedly looking after Payne Haas, has not been cited off nobbies. He was the one who sent the 10:30 p.m. email demanding an immediate release, didn't have any talks prior to that. Every member of the media has tried to contact Tyron.
What about
since.
Coda in this, Buzz?
Coda's,
there's rumours swelling that it's
Coda,
Coda that's pulling the strings here.
Look, Coda is no doubt, because Payne Haas admitted Sonny Bill Williams is involved in his advice. So if Sonny Bill's involved, Coda's involved. But the bottom line is we can only deal with paperwork. Coda is not a registered manager. His registered manager is Tyron Smith. It is his job to look after the player and not put him in a position where he was booed by 30-odd thousand the other night. Now, he leaks to one journalist, I'm not going to bother naming him, the soft side of the story, but he will not pick up the phone and explain to anyone why he's left that player in the position he has.
Buzz, I would also say that you can't just point the finger at the agent.
I heard you pointed at.
What's he doing? You're saying the agent sent that email without Payne Haas even knowing. The player's got to take some responsibility. You can't say it all falls on the agent. The player's got to take some responsibility for what happens as well.
He would have asked Payne Haas.
He wouldn't have sent that. I'd be stunned if he sent that without Payne Haas.
It is the agent's job to go back to him and say, listen, read the room, Payne. If you go ahead with this, you're going to look really...
He's not going to do that, Buzz. That's not... They're deliberately...
It is his job, though.
I'll say this, I wouldn't. I think Tyron Smith's a great agent, because I know him well. I see him around Coogee. He trains all the young kids. He looks after the young blokes. I think he's been caught up in something here that's just got a bit too out of hand, and I do feel for him in this situation.
Do you think someone else in the back? You think Cody's in the background?
I'm hearing Cody's.
We've all heard that story. We've all heard that story.
I'm not. What you're saying is right, Buzz. I'm not defending that.
Yeah.
You know, he should be talking. He should be communicating with you. But I will stick up for a time because I think he's really good at what he does. And he does look after the players. But this situation here has definitely got it out of hand.
He has not looked after this player.
I know this.
He's hung him out.
I don't disagree with this.
Well, he has to look after himself too, Buzz. Yeah, he's got the power to say to his agent, don't send the email. Don't send it.
That's true, but he's also got not just one person, but 3 or 4 middle-aged men who have been around the game for best part of 15, 20 years now. Yeah. 3 or 4 middle-aged men. He's a 22-year-old young man.
The agent's got to take some responsibility.
Payne Haas's
but the player has to take some ownership of it as well. It's not all on the agent, Buzz.
His job's to play football. It's his manager's job.
No, Buzz, look, he employs the agent.
And he's had a couple now. So he had this problem with the Oars. Yeah. Well, he blamed the Oars. And we don't even know the truth. We don't know the truth behind that either, but he blamed them. Now he's moved on and he's making the same decisions or even more severe ones with a new agent.
What often gets lost in a lot of these situations is the players forget that the agent works for them. And they are too often just told what to do and how to behave and what's going to happen by the agent and just go along with it under this belief that the agent knows. Now, in this case, the agent has got a deliberate tactic to agitate and irritate the Broncos to the point where they just go, you know what, mate, you're not worth it.
You trust your manager. If your manager says to us, we're going to put pressure on him, we're going to send a 10:30 email.
But Buzz, at the end of the day, the player writes the cheque and gives it to the agent.
Yes.
It doesn't go the other way. So he's employing him. You're getting paid to make decisions for me.
I know a lot of good agents who would have handled it a lot differently.
I agree. I think nearly every one of them would have.
They've gone all in with Queen 7. And the Broncos have called them. That's what's happened with the agent.
I'm sure in hindsight he'd look at it and go, I probably could have handled that better. Tyron Smith, surely.
He'd have to. And then, as I said,
does he pick up the phone when you ring?
No.
Does he pick up the phone to anyone?
Once and he said, I'm in a meeting, I'll call you back. I never heard from him.
He talks to everyone else, Buzz, apparently.
You're off with a few, though.
Please.
You are.